Hey Fox fam, maybe let's wait a minute or two before we start and allow other community members to jump in.
I had to do it, Lich. It was such a good transition out.
I'm no DJ voice like you.
You'll develop it. You'll have a great DJ voice. No worries.
I can't imagine me having like that deep of a voice. Okay, GM Facts fam. Good morning from me and my roosters from the other side of the world. So welcome to our Unsolved User Problems, where we discuss all the issues that are being reported by all the users of our ShapeShift product. So this week, like the squad is excited. It's like we're doing a revamp of our weekly call. We used to have only the triage sheet that we are discussing, but right now we're going to be introducing and showing the community the bug board as well. So for those who are new to the call or maybe already knows our process, we are encouraging all the community members or just anybody actually to, if you see a bug, you can report those issues under the customer support, the pane, and click on the report issues channel, and you can follow along and fill in as much details as you can, and that will be going to our triage channel where the ops squad is going to recreate. And once we can recreate, we will then be writing up a ticket. So that will be worked on by our engineers. So I think let's dive right in to our bug board to start. Let me pull up my Zoom as well. Thanks, Ron. All right, so this is a new addition to our weekly call. So these are the bugs that we currently have for the version 2 or the app.shapeshift.com. So we have identified a few that we consider to be a good potential to be given out for the community members and give out a bounty for these. For any of those who are interested on doing these bounties, there is also a README link where you can also set up your PC and set the ShapeShift or the site locally on your end. And I think I do have a link here. Let me see. I'll post it here. But for the bounties, I think I'd have to ask for Ocean's help on what is really needed for the community members on these. I think we have Gitcoin.
Yeah, I know Ocean posts them all on... Oh, Ocean's here. Never mind. I'll let him speak for himself.
Sorry, I was definitely multitasking. Your question was where people can pick up the bounties.
Yes. And also,
Yeah, so
like, how they could get started, if ever.
yeah, sure. Two great questions. So right now we only have two bounties posted. They were both posted to Gitcoin, and I can paste the link in the stage chat for that. We have a organization profile for ShapeShift, so all of them can be found there. And then in terms of getting started, it will slightly depend on the repo that the bounty or the issue resides in. Most likely it'll be in web. And so as you mentioned, the README there does take someone through the steps needed in order to get the application running in a local development environment.
Nice. I think I found the link to the README, and I think I also have the Gitcoin for the bounties. There. So I kind of checked on these, the team and I, and I think we have another possible ticket that could be a possible bounty, and I'm hoping to you ask you and for your eyes if this is a good ticket, and it's the Fox Farm 75. So it's just a UI on the external page, the Fox farming page, where like the icons are overlapping to the banner above.
So that we have on Beard's design QA board, since that's not going to be part of the open source. That's not going to be something that we can bounty out. But yeah, definitely something we're aware of and will get fixed up.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Mr. Fox. The next one here is the wallet disconnect and refresh and the handling of the BTC formats. We recently checked the release asked by Josh, and then I noticed that I can't recreate this anymore. So maybe Neveros or Ron, if you can have like second eyes on this, it would be perfect.
That's not one that needs to be recreated. That's more of a, if you click into it, that's more of a spike.
Confirm.
We need to, as a product team, chat about how to best handle that. And that is something we discussed, and we are thinking about more or less the way we're going to do it is that every format will be handled as a separate asset. So if you have a balance on native SegWit, if you have a balance on the legacy address or other, they'll all kind of display separately. That way you'll see your total balance from each format, and you'll be able to toggle. You won't be needing to toggle between them since they'll kind of all be their own. And then any new addresses being spun up will just be what the state of NegWit. SegWit native. Thank you. Just got a little tongue tied there. Just because that is the most gas efficient and just seems to be the best one to work with right now. But yeah, we'll give the users the option to be able to choose whatever format they want. But I need to update that ticket.
Ooh, nice. Thanks
but happy
for
to discuss. I mean, that was just a discussion that the product team has had with also a couple engineers. But if anyone else has an opinion on how that should be handled, we're definitely open to hearing it.
All right. The next ticket's below. I think it's Portis, and the Portis team is aware of this already. Cool. Thank you for that, PDT. To the next one we have is on to do, which is I think it hasn't been, it didn't go through the triage. So this is from DeFi, yeah.
Yeah, that DeFi created that one. I don't know all too much about it. I don't think we need to necessarily go through every single one of these if we want to, just because they are discussed every morning at the engineering stand-up, and obviously anyone in this call is encouraged and welcomed in that call. I think in terms of looking at this board, we should primarily be focusing on like what is bountyable and what we might need community help with. But I'm open to whatever.
Agree with that,
Yeah.
Fox. Yeah, so maybe it looks like we might not have a whole bunch of stuff today to really have alpha tickets to be bountyable. I'm not sure if Ocean sees something here that is bountyable yet, and maybe we have something on Triage Tracker that we can get to. But yeah, I agree. Maybe we don't need to go through every single ticket here.
Yeah, I mean, just those two and just a few of them. And maybe we could add some that are from the triage sheet. And if,
Yeah,
yeah,
we could
maybe we
definitely.
could.
Go ahead, Lich. Sorry.
No, go for it. Yeah. Ooh, I see that Ron
I was just gonna.
has
Yeah, I was
toggled
just,
to the triage sheet.
okay. Yeah, I just was gonna say that. Yeah, there's discussion on the stage chat where both of the bounties that have been offered already were taken up by by individuals. So hopefully those get a solution. And then as far as new bounties, I think that we just have to go through the triage and see what fits there, and maybe if other members like Fox and Ocean, take a look at that stuff, they might be able to pick up on things a little bit easier as well once we get the hang of it as we continue doing this as a team.
For the sake of the recording of this call too, and since this is just the first time through, and since we have Ocean on stage with us, I wanted to ask if there's like a process or an expectation of how we're going to interface with Gitcoin, if there's like a timeline that we can expect from this before we accept work, or what someone who would be interested in doing a bounty, how they would expect to interface with us in this process.
Yeah, those are all really great questions. So I think the first one you asked about the timeline for, you asking the timeline for a bounty to be completed or for a bounty to be created?
More so in the completed phase. We'll keep updating the created phase, I'm sure, as this process gets refined.
Yeah, so if we have like a hard deadline for anything, it may not be the best thing for us to bounty. If it's like a reasonable deadline, like we need it within the next 2 weeks or something like that, then we can put that into the bounty itself and make sure that the bounty hunters know that that's coming up, so they can plan for it. Just in general, like my experience has been with the bounties is a lot of times you get people that are coming in new to the code base. They have other jobs potentially, and so it's usually best when there's stuff that they can work on that's not in the critical path but still is needed for the product.
Awesome. And then, yeah, I guess I don't have any more questions for that. We can pass back off to Lich. Thank you.
Yep. And again, just throwing it all out there, we can totally experiment with all of this stuff. I mean, my experiences with Gitcoin are 2 years old at this point. Things have probably changed a bit, and as we also get new contributors that are active and familiar with our code base, we may be able to give them more that's in the critical path because they'll be able to complete it so much quicker once they're kind of up to speed with everything.
And then that would be something that maybe even we could use through Colony. So there would be like a a pathway to go from a Gitcoin contributor all the way into a workstream contributor?
Yeah, I mean, the goal for sure, as far as I've discussed with Josh, is to use the Gitcoin funnel as part of the hiring process for core contributors in the work stream. So, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know that we have like a defined path right now, but I know that he's definitely looking to onboard core developers into his work stream. And so, I think everyone that we're speaking with as bounty hunters, there's a potential for them to convert into full-time work.
And then I see a question in the chat from Seth about if engineering workstream is using Sobel, and maybe that's a good way for people who are interested to traverse this path to get connected.
I'm not familiar with that with Sobel, but certainly happy to communicate with you, Seth, on that path and make sure we have work that we can identify for you that will help to showcase your skills and discuss with Josh what that path would look like to get you the needed visibility.
And I do know that we are just starting up with Sobel right now, and I believe that Josh got the work stream added just yesterday, maybe on Friday. So we can definitely, if we find out that it's useful for the DAO, we can definitely use that as a means for people to get involved and find out what everyone's doing.
Awesome. Seth, it sounds like there's also a couple things you want to work on. We're happy to create like kind of custom bounties too, or tip you for that work. So don't be afraid if there's a ticket you're going to pick up and you're like, hey, I want this to be bountied. Just let me know. We can throw it up there. We want people to be compensated for their work and feel like they're a part of this whole thing. So feel free to ping me with those.
Thanks for that question there, Seth, and thanks for being our guinea pig in all of these processes. I know you've plowed your way through a whole bunch of DAO stuff and helped us learn and grow a lot. How are the chickens over there, Glitch?
Trying to keep them calm. I do miss saying that, like, it's my own version of lo-fi. Who needs lo-fi when I got chicken?
Glitch, not to dox yourself too badly, but where are you located at? There's chickens all over the place.
I'm from the Philippines. So it's currently
Awesome.
6 a.m. here. So fitting for a GM.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I don't believe they're her chickens. I think it's a neighbor's, and she just has to deal with the soundtrack behind her.
Yeah, I guess it's my backdoor neighbor. All right. Thank you for that nice conversation about the bounties, and I hope we could invite more community members to join us in DAOing it. Okay, now I think it's safe for us to move into our triage tracking sheet. So on the bottom, we've bolded all of the new items that were reported last week. Right there. So the first one we got there is when selecting the graph, the value change. I think we still need to recreate this. I think this was an issue never was posted, and both PTT and I couldn't recreate this still. So we need to check on this more further. So the next, oh, go ahead.
I was just, if you want, we can go one by one, or I can just kind of run up the list and give an update on all these if you want.
Yeah, that would do for me too.
Sure. Yeah, so that when selecting the graph, the value changes. I think that was like with the mouse or with your finger on mobile. That when you click to a pinpoint, the value is not what it should be. That's been an issue with some of our old graphs for quite some time now. Honestly, since V2 graphs are so much better these days. It's going to be hard to. I know. I forget exactly. A couple weeks ago, we had a few of the engineers kind of swarm this idea to see if we could fix the graphs, and it wasn't an easy fix. So I don't think that's going to be prioritized anytime soon. And hopefully, just everything will just be working better going forwards, especially on V2. But definitely something we can revisit when we have a little bit more time. Going down, those single token assets I added or you added to the single token list, but I added that, created a ticket. As most of you guys know, we now have another bug board for some of these centralized issues that aren't part of the open source V2. I'm still maintaining that board, and that is, visiting all those single asset issues is one of the tickets on that board. It's not being worked on right now because, as we will find out next, we have a few ThorChain issues going on. Those are being worked on along with the, let's see, which bug is it? Along with the incorrect price impact warning, which is happening as well. Once those two are resolved, then I'll try to squeeze in those other ThorChain tickets, and then also some of those single assets as well. Moving past that, that trade 2 for that rune one that just got erased. I think part of that was that ETH was off, and that just you couldn't trade ETH to rune or rune to ETH just because that pair was off. I just tried to recreate it with Bitcoin and it works just fine, but we'll still take a look at that as well. UI bug on Fox Farming we just talked about. That's getting added to our design QA. Old Fox reward information still displayed. I believe that has already been resolved. If not, feel free to let us know. But I think we covered that in the last design QA. Beard was able to get that removed. Alpha dashboard never loads on parent keep key. I've tried to recreate that one and it works just fine for me. So yeah, if you guys can try to recreate or find out a few more details on that one, and then if we are able to recreate and know how, then we can escalate it because that is a big issue if we can recreate it. And then
Hey, Fox,
jump in, yeah,
real
please.
quick, just to add a little bit of context, that I believe that was one that only Major Hayes was having an issue with, and he was using Vivaldi as a browser, and I believe he said he also tried it in Chrome, and he was having that issue. I could not recreate that, and I think Lich also tried and couldn't recreate it. So on our side, we were not able to recreate the problem connecting to KeepKey. We were able to do it. So I don't know. We have to do a little bit more testing, I think, on that, but I think it might be a smaller issue than what we believe at this moment.
Perfect. That's great news to hear. For those who aren't aware, obviously Chrome right now, V2 right now is optimized for Chrome. So the fact that it works on Chrome, I know. I believe Vivaldi is Chromium, but that's probably not going to get prioritized at the moment, especially if it's only isolated to that browser. But we can definitely take a look.
I had a couple of comments I wanted to bring up on old tickets that
let's dive on.
Brand new. If we're ready for that section. One, it looks like it got moved over to the single asset issue, but one of the single assets that just got reported as having bad information was AXN, which is I don't know if we want to make like a larger conversation out of this example of AXN, but it's like a top 30 coin right now. So it is pumping very, very hard and is something that I would imagine because of its coin rank is going to be held by more users than say a lot of the other coins on that list. And then maybe Sand is one that is also maybe a second tier coin, but not certainly a lot of getting ranked with some of the shit coins that get put on that list. So I don't know if there's like a line in the sand which we should draw between what is a shitcoin that goes on an individual asset list and what is an asset that has a price that is not correct that we should prioritize above clumping together. I mean, I imagine that Bitcoin, if the Bitcoin price is wrong, we're not going to put that in the individual asset list, you know. But at some point in that list, it probably needs to be kind of decided where we put the priority, I guess, is my feels.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally see that. Can we toggle over to that page real quick? Whoever's controlling the Zoom. The single asset issues. It's the second tab. Perfect. Thank you. I mean, we could definitely rank that just with this column D, the severity column, and then. But I agree. If something is, yeah, I'm open to discussing that threshold. But there should be something. Maybe that's a top 10, top 20, top 30 coin, or maybe it's total trades. I assume these issues are just in mobile and/or plat, and everything with V2 is correct because it's all pulling. Have we recreated any of these with V2?
No, so far we do direct the users to V2 since it's showing the correct price and data.
Cool. Not that that's a full stop solution, but good to know. And just one more reason to use V2. Yeah, we can definitely think about it and maybe even talk outside this meeting, unless anyone has any strong feelings. But I'm all for kind of creating a criteria, and I'm totally fine kind of empowering, making it case by case basis, depending on how many users are reporting it, if we're getting support tickets on it, things like that. Or open for any other more concrete lines in the sand. But yeah, I think that's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, so I'll just add the severity column and put some high or mid prio to these top 30 assets.
Yeah, I'd say
to even just put the coin rank if it's in a like coin rank number
sure
50, coin rank 488.
Coin rank, and then make a note if there's just either a large amount of support tickets or just a large amount of reports coming through, because yeah, obviously severity goes up based on the number of users it's affecting.
Definitely. All right. For other issues that I think we need to raise is the increasing amount of users that reporting the unable to broadcast the XRPs on web. I'm not sure if we want to work on it or yeah, I think they're around 5 or more, and I think support team has even more tickets on their Zendesk.
Yeah, they in Op Sprint they had 8 users reach out since the last time they mentioned it with an ability to have proper XRP balance or send XRP. So I don't know if this is a deep watchtower issue, if it's an easy fix, or if it's something we've sacrificed working on because it's Ripple.
Yeah, I'll take a deep. Do we know? Is that all plat? Is that everything mobile plat?
XRP is
it's just
non-mobile.
Kiki. Yeah,
You guys are talking to each other. One more time.
Go ahead, Letch.
Yeah, so XRP is only on KeepKey, so it's not on mobile yet.
Oh, true. Okay, fair enough. All right, I will make a ticket for that one as well. It's
Thank you. All right. And one other report I have is the remove gas estimate exception error on the mobile app. And I have recreated this, I think, yesterday, and I still can't remove from the LP.
even with enough gas, obviously.
Yeah, I do have enough gas.
All right. Will you tag me in that thread? Yeah. I'll take a look at that one too.
Sure.
I thought that was already fixed.
Okay, I found it.
Thank you.
Chickens are rowdy.
Oh, okay. So sorry, I was mistaken. Yeah, this is the one that's being worked on right now. Eric is working on that. That should hopefully have a solve soon. I don't have an exact time,
Perfect.
but yeah, being worked on as we speak.
Perfect. We'll need to rely on you on updating us on these centralized tickets.
Yeah, I know that's a
Mhm.
total pain, and obviously every day, hopefully, we're getting more and more decentralized, and more users are
Mhm.
using and relying on V2, and these centralized bugs will be a thing of the past, hopefully soon.
Yep, enjoying V2 right now.
Yep.
Aside, so that those two are my only concerns from the previous weeks. I'm not sure if others have any other issues that they seem to be seeing still or needs to be prioritized.
I don't know if much out there. I do know that later on next week there's going to be an all support meeting that Ron and Neverwas are actually going to be joining as well, and we're going to be refreshing the entire support team on how to use that report issues button in the Discord. So I'm hoping that maybe when that meeting happens, if there are any pending issues that have been bouncing around in Zendesk, we could get a flurry of them coming in that we could address to the right board and bounty potentially. Since this is your first time with us, is there anything else you wanted to add or comment on about the process, or things that you're be looking forward to us being able to provide inside this space as we get more tickets to bounty and get more eyes on our projects?
No, I don't know that I have any direct feedback right now. It seems like the list of V2 issues is actually quite small, which is awesome. I'm sure that will change as we get, closer to a hard launch and there's more users on it and everything like that. But no, I mean, in general, I'm not quite sure that I know the best way for us to, or the process right now to get things bountied. But I'm sure as we kind of refine that flow, we can define that process more. But as you guys come across stuff, I think for now, just pinging me with the issue on GitHub and letting me know that you guys want it bountied, and I can review it and make sure that it's got enough information for a bounty hunter to pick up, and we can get it posted for the time being, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I'm excited to optimize this process as we start getting bugs and breaking things. And yeah, I'm as surprised as you are with how clean V2 is looking right now. It's a wonder, but maybe we should have been doing open source a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually probably a really great thing that it's kind of like slow at the moment for us because we can kind of get the process in place and feel our way through it versus just being totally dumped on and having to struggle, dealing with it during times of rush and a lot of incoming issues. So yeah, I look at it as a kind of a blessing that we're able to kind of get our foothold and get a good footing going forward, and definitely having Ocean and Fox and everyone else that has a lot of experience and looking at these things can be a great advantage to the community so that they can have faith that the right things are going to be available for them to be able to work on and cut their teeth on and really grow as far as their contributions, and then see the potential that'll be there to go forward in a more involved perspective, to the DAO and to the engineering and to everyone else in the community.
All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, I want to go hop into this tokenomics call. Is there any other last minute stuff anyone wants to cover?
I would just pass the mic back to Lich in case she's got anything she wants to say.
Yeah, that's it from me as well. I think we could end early. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
GM.
GM, guys. Thank you.